I'd like to call the study session for May 4th, 2021 to order. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Bear?
Present.
Commissioner Walls? Commissioner Kennedy?
Present.
Commissioner Duckham? Commissioner Plesky?
Here.
Commissioner Mahoney? Commissioner Williams? Commissioner Snell?
Here.
Chairman Shotwell?
Here.
6 present.
Thank you. We've arrived at public comment. Public comment guidelines, each individual will state their name and you have 3 minutes to address the board. You may only address the board once under this public comment opportunity and may not yield your time to others. Board members will not debate or answer questions at this time. Public comment. Any public comment? Any public comment? Seeing none, we will move on to the approval of the April 6, 2021 study session.
I'd like to move approval of the April 6th, 2021 study session.
I heard support. Any questions? Comments? Corrections? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Duly carried. We've arrived at item 5 in accordance with MCL 15.268. A legal opinion will be discussed. Entertain a motion, please.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have support?
Support.
Any questions to the motion? Madam Clerk, could you call the roll, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Snell?
Yes. Adjourned to 17, correct? I have a motion and a support.
Yes.
Any questions to the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Duly carried. Who's up next? Is it Commissioner Walls or Commissioner Snell or Commissioner Kennedy? Commissioner Kennedy?
First off, I'd like to thank you for submitting the anti-discrimination policy. Our legal team.
We have a motion and support. Any discussion? No. I don't know if they'll be happy, but everybody will have a chance to comment.
Everybody will have a chance.
Correct. Did we cover everything, Commissioners? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Duly carried. WIC program discussion.
I believe everyone has had opportunity to read the, review the summary that I had sent. Just to give a way of background here, and bear with me as I open up my notes myself here, Word docs. Actually, this goes back, at least 6 months or so when I first had a conversation with the director at Center for Family Health. And it wasn't even about this. Frankly, my wife and I both do some volunteering with that organization, and so I have, or it's really my wife, and I just attend a number of meetings with her, and I had opportunity to talk to Molly and so forth and so on about this and that and the other, and we started talking about where we overlap in some of the services and some of the needs in the community and so forth, which led one thing to another, got me thinking about opportunities, especially where we have significant overlap. So that's where I started thinking about WIC, and then I discussed it with Molly. I said, what are the possibilities of this? I discussed it with Rashmi as well. Where are the overlaps? Where are the opportunities to provide a equal to or better service for less money? Those kind of things. We're always striving to do that in all of our departments across the county and the services we provide. This time, this is our first pass. As you know, we're working on a white paper as well with a lot more detail in it. But and we've spent a fair amount of time discussing it with some of Molly and some of her people. Right now, we're having conversations with actual WIC employees. We gave them this, and are talking to them about some of what they see as concerns or opportunities, doing a SWOT analysis, those kind of things, looking at it. And we'll take that information, obviously incorporate and finalize our white paper and provide that for the board for further consideration. But I did want to just open it up today and have at least a first pass to get the feel for, is this something the board wants us to continue to consider, and provide you with that document. Questions, anyone? Or comments?
I have a quick one. Just from my look at it, it looks to save the county a substantial amount of money. Am I correct?
Commissioner Kennedy, could you use your mic?
It's on. Can you not hear me? Okay.
There is potentially some savings there, yes. In my conversations with the Center for Family Health, I had indicated that while they may be eligible for the grant money that we received to fund the program, that we would not be contributing the county itself from our general fund, and that would be about $130,000. So we would see that savings in that. At least that's the preliminary numbers. Until we get really down into the weeds, we can't say exactly, but we believe that will be the case.
Mr. Plesky.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The budget savings would be nice, but I guess I think the appeal of this is that those who are served could be more efficiently served, not only with the WIC program, but with other things that Center for Family Health does. And I hope, Mike, as we get to down into the details, we see what improvements or degradations in service could occur with this sort of a process. For example, I think the potential for the public being a little confused as to who does what could exist. I think there should be some measure or some provision of oversight by the county health department over the process that the Center for Family Health carries on, some reasonable process of oversight. But I think the concept works because this is a population that Center for Family Health works with very well. And so I'm looking forward to getting more of the details as they are fleshed out.
Thank you. We would agree that there's more work to do, more conversations to be had, and frankly, again, talking to our own frontline people was. You don't know what you don't know until you have those kind of conversations and get their perspective on things. You look at all those things. But that's the idea that, and if I'm not mistaken, And again, it's all new to us, new ground. The law allows us to do this, but we're still responsible, the health department's still responsible for the WIC program ultimately. At least that's how I kind of interpret it. So I'm looking at Kristen, she did the homework. And there's a couple other examples where this type of relationship exists in the state today. So we're going to follow some of those models. And I know Center for Family Health has actually visited some of those other places that operate, that do WIC across the state in this fashion to see how it might make a change in their own organization. So they're doing homework as well.
Tony's got one.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess I have just a question relative to the feasibility, which is mentioned here in your document, and the oversight. Jackson County Health Department, the commissioners have oversight over that department. The Center for Family Health, I don't believe we have any oversight responsibilities. I guess that's the only concern I have with changing this. As it states in here, under Michigan Public Health Code, the health department has these responsibilities. So will the state, how do we get around the public health code that says these responsibilities belong to the health department? How do we get beyond that and say that we're putting these to the Center for Family Health, and how do we maintain some oversight? Those are questions I would like answered before the...
Agreed. Those are questions that we're exploring more fully. We know it's doable because there's other organizations in the state that currently operate this way. So we know it's legal to do. And it may very well be that, because I understand the span of control and those concerns there, may very well be that there is an obligation on the Center for Family Health to report out annually or some frequency to this body as to how they're meeting the needs as per the law. So, we'll have a better answer for that as time goes on, assuming the board wishes me to continue to pursue.
Understanding that a lot of the young ladies that come to the Center for Family Health to get prenatal care and child care, it seems to make sense to me that, having this process, it kind of like a one-stop shop. I mean, they can go there and get their care, and then pick up their funding and take care of that. So other than having them report to us and whatnot, I think it's a great idea. It just makes sense.
Well, ultimately I reserve judgment until we're finished with our investigation and review, but I do think it's incumbent upon myself and of course our staff to always be looking for ways to provide equal to or better service at a cost-effective, efficient, in a cost-effective, efficient manner, and then we bring it here for the political calculus and the like. Thank you,
Mr. Chair. I agree with Rodney. I think it's a great way to provide better service to more people. Center for Family Health, they have a wide range of services they do, and when somebody comes in for something, their intake people are also asking if there are other pertinent questions, and I'm sure that WIC will become something they're going to be working with to make sure that people get the benefits they need. So I'm in favor of this if we get to that point.
Commissioners? So I guess my questions will be twofold. From First, is there an opportunity for the county effectively to expand its service by using the Center for Family Health? Can we use the satellite offices that the Center for Family Health currently using in the high schools in the city? And is there opportunity to expand out county with the Center for Family Health? And,
Well, I
you know,
know,
outreach to the other areas in the county that need evaluation? I guess that just would be the thing I would look at.
yeah, I was going to say, I can't necessarily answer that. I do know that Center for Family Health has 6 or 7 locations. Whether they would choose to do or provide WIC services or what across all those, I do not know. But the potential's there, I'll say that way.
And they have a good relationship with Lifeways?
They do.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, then, I hear no objections. We'll continue to pursue this and do homework, discuss with anyone and everyone, and ultimately bring a final report for board consideration down the road. I know the Center for Family Health, as I understand it, they're going to have a meeting, is it this week or tomorrow or something like that, to discuss this on their end, because they have a board they answer to as well. And I guess they're going to be discussing the possibilities, the feasibility of it all with their board as well. So time will tell, and we'll come back either way and let you know where we're heading and for ultimate decision by the board. Thank you.
On the next item, I'm going to ask for a consensus of the board if we want to hear this month, or do we want the administration to look at the different possibilities? And I apologize, Rick, for asking this now, but we've been here 2.5 hours. I'm going to ask the administrator, and if the board wants to stay, we'll stay and go through this now, or we'll look at alternative communication of this idea.
I'm fine.
Okay?
The
We had to
I'm
get
good
it
with
done?
that.
Okay. Please continue.
okay. I was going to say, just you know, it isn't critical that we do it this month, and it is going to be a longer presentation. Just giving you guys a second chance here.
We'll be as expedient as we can be, though.
Yeah, I understand. So if you're good, we'll continue. All right, Rick, but by all means.
No, I'll just-
And again, guys, what we're doing here is we're just looking at all the county-owned properties, and this is not all the county-owned properties, right, gentlemen?
No, it's not.
And so what we did was we picked ones that we thought were possibly viable for sale.
Possibly viable, and also to discuss potential in the future
Okay.
for some of these properties, because they are,
We're going to want to use the mic when we speak, guys, just to be clear, because it's recording, and YouTube and the like. So at any rate, I'll let these guys carry it. They've done the work on it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll go as quickly as we can through this, and we can always bring it back for additional questions. JCDOT has about 101 parcels total from our research, and I believe the county has about 86 properties. So what we're doing today is just showing you a few of the highlighted parcels that are potential candidates, as we just mentioned a moment ago, for sale.
To be clear, the county owns all the properties. JCDOT, just trying to be clear.
Yeah, good point, Mike. And the distinction why I said it the way I did is because JCDOT's parcels are the county's parcels now, but they're JCDOT purchased with Act 51 dollars. So when liquidated, that money has to come back to the road fund for road improvements and the fund balance within JCDOT. So thanks, Mike. All right, so here's a summary. I guess general county properties are first, so I'll turn it over to you, Rick. Sorry about that. I had it in my mind JCDOT was first. Go ahead.
okay, first up, we have the airport properties. I can read it off the slides here, but basically, this is just property along I-94 that the airport had to have release from the FAA to dispose of. And I believe at one point in time, correct me if I'm wrong, We did have a potential buyer for this property. I wasn't part of that, but again, this is the type of parcels that we have that certainly could be used for development.
Yeah, and I believe the airport property is similar to the former road commission property in that it's got to be left with the airport, right? I look at the chairman here for that because he's got the most history.
It has all kinds of,
Restrictions.
well, not so much.
Yeah, challenges. And again, it's 67 acres. It's a nice parcel, especially due to its location. There are significant wetlands, which we know is another challenge, but yet we're aware of them. The next parcel kind of brings back memories at the RIVERWALK site. It's a unique property. It's right here across from us at the Tower Building. Again, it would have challenges for development. Number one, it's in the city. Number two, just for the layout of it. So there are no wetlands on that property. There are some potentials to use it for the trail. Again, it's just options. Then we have a property out on Napoleon Road that 0.16 acres. Why we have it, I have no idea. It's certainly one that maybe because it has a pumping station on it was purchased. But again, the pumping station just takes up a smaller portion of that parcel. And really, the potential for sale is there. I'm going kind of fast because you guys have had a long morning already. AMOS Avenue, this is by the old Kmart. This is kind of a unique parcel, and this is what you'll find with a number of county properties where the adjacent landowner looks like maybe they put a fence up, maybe a storage shed, things like that. This stuff happens to county properties because I watched it happen in my own backyard. The reason Hanover Township has pheasants once again is my dad built his pheasant pens on the county park property and restocked Hanover Township with pheasants. It's just one of those things that happens. The same thing out at Clark Lake at Ocean Beach. You go by there in the summer and there's 3 docks put in on our county property. Just happens. Lansing Avenue. This is a different one. 8 separate parcels. We have one landowner who's actually landlocked, where if we do retain this parcel, and the nice thing about it is it's right next to the Human Services building, we should still go through and deal with the right-of-way for the landowner that lives behind the little white building there that should also be torn down as well. Again, I think it's just the right thing to do, because right now this person gains access across our parking lot to his property. It was the way the former owner, you have to remember that this building housed the Frivolity Kingdom. I think that says it all. It was a head shop. Then we run into properties like this out on Angling Road that was the old Michener Plating Company. It's over 5.5 acres. The property is contaminated, not as bad as the Michener site here on Mechanic Street. Again, the potential for development could be there. The treasurer is certainly on top of the issues pertaining to this site. But again, I just wanted to show it so that
Right. What are those white things, settling ponds or something?
that's part of the city's water treatment plant. There's for soda ash.
Oh, okay, thanks.
So it is right adjacent to the water treatment plant.
Maybe the city one.
Yes, sir. Then, as a surprise to both Christopher and I, we found some properties on Julian Street in Vandercook that were deeded to the Parks Department that are just there. We don't need them for parks. They're just a couple parcels. Why keep them? Again, the potential's there. They were transferred to the county in 1975. Unless, in my mind, unless Parks needs them.
Are those buildable?
There's a small amount of wetlands across the southwest corner of the property, so it may be dicey.
So there's more to look at here, obviously. This is our first pass at looking at these with the board, but ultimately, we'll have to look at each one individually and determine if it's, how viable it is for a sale. I mean, one, you can sell it, but can anyone build on it? And if not, then it probably comes down to maybe the neighboring, adjoining properties want to buy it or split or half or something. So we'll go from there. Thank you, Rick.
Yep. And Christopher, you're up, sir.
All right, sir. Okay. Sure.
Man, Steve, I don't remember.
Yeah, it was on the land bank at that time. Yeah, we built it. It was land bank.
Yeah, we built it right
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. All right, so a brief overview of some of the properties purchased with road funds are as follows. We, like I mentioned earlier, have 101 total. 27 of those are not road right-of-way. 74 of those, as we've researched so far, are road right-of-way. So I'm going to show you 10 properties here, split into 12 parcels, and they're not presented in any order of priority, although I can tell you one of the highest priorities would be this first parcel or set of parcels for discussion. Here's a summary table showing the 12 parcels, and the first one, which involves 69, almost 70 acres, is the current facility on Elm Road. So I'll spend a little more time on that one just so that we have clarity. So this is, of course, this subset here of 3 parcels is the parcel on Shanna Road, west of the county jail and near the JCDOT offices and garage. You obviously know the location of where we are off of Elm. And here is kind of another shot that just shows the distance, the proximity to the jail in case there was a jail expansion in the future. That is one reason that parcel's been preserved. There are some wetlands there, and I believe a county drain coming through the property. Here's the second parcel for discussion here, which we've had some inquiries about with possible industrial uses. So this might rank as our number 1 priority if we were given the green light to explore sale of this one. It's got an access right off of Rose Hill, and you see the little right-of-way that curves up That will not be used as part of the reconstruction of the Elm interchange. So we're in conversations with MDOT as to reverting that possibly back to us as the project progresses. That was for a long-term vision and a potential future plan for realignment of Rose Hill, but that's not come to fruition as part of the Elm Road intersection work. So the corner of that parcel, the eastern corner, southeast corner of the parcel would tie into Rose Hill and provide access to that property, and it is zoned industrial. So here are the wetlands on that. Yep.
There's something else that goes underneath that piece of property. Is it a power line?
There's a gas line, a major gas line along Elm on the west side. Are you thinking of that? Yep. Yep. And then the park and ride is there in the very corner, not highlighted here, but beyond the highlight.
Where that's located.
Potentially, or an asphalt plant or any other kind of industrial facility that needs high energy consumption. Yeah, high energy supply. So here's our second piece. This is the Clark Lake Garage. There's the red parcel behind the garage. It's an unused section. It's about 6.5 acres. And we used to rent it to a local farmer, but they're no longer interested. So it is a landlocked parcel. So hard to say how marketable it is. Probably the adjacent landowners will be the most interested parties in this potentially. There's more information on the location and the there's no wetlands there, so we didn't show that. The third parcel is Brown Road Pit, formerly a pit. It's a 44.4 acre parcel, and it's been mined out, so it's basically ready for other uses. It does contain a tower that needs to remain, so there would have to be an easement and access for that. There's the location of that parcel up in the northwest part of the county. And there are a few wetlands in the area there. Fisher's Pit, similar story, contains a tower that needs to remain. There's the location of that parcel. And some potential wetlands as shown in our GIS information. And there's a private road that runs through the parcel that provides access to the residential area to the north. So there would need to be definitely an easement, an access easement that remains. Mackie Road Pit. This is 13 acres, former gravel pit. This could be sold in its entirety. Here's its location. And as you can see, there are some potential wetlands there as well. North Francisco Road, it's about half an acre. The parcel used to be used for storage of railroad stone, and it's not been used for this purpose for any time that we can recall. No wetlands on the property, but you can see it's along the eastern edge of the county there. Wolf Lake Road, about 1.25 acres. This provides sight distance for the intersection of Wolf Lake and Brook Trout Lane. We could sell it with a restrictive easement on any encumbrances, basically, that would prohibit sight distance. Here's the location, and there are no wetlands on this property. Liberty Road, 4.67 acres, same story. We would need an easement prohibiting items, trees, etc., that block sight distance. Ocean Beach Road, small lakefront property, approximately 0.04 acres, and really serves no purpose that we can ascertain. Any drainage needs could be resolved using the platted road end that's adjacent to this lot. Public access concerns to the lake are, of course, a consideration, but as noted there in the bullet point, could be resolved by using an adjacent road end or the county park just down the street. Yes. Clark Lake. Yeah, the location map shows it down near Clark Lake here on the next slide.
But it's not a road end, you say?
This one is not, no.
And do you know
It's next to a road end,
how many road ends we have on?
a lot,
Okay,
a lot.
I assumed as much, thanks.
Yeah. That's a whole other discussion, if you'd like to have it. You know, as time passed and subdivisions and homes were built around lakes, there were lots of platted roads that end at the water's edge. Glendale Court, again, a small parcel, 0.16 acres, 40 feet wide. May have been acquired as a possible extension of Forest Hill Court, and we have no plans to extend that road. So, here's the location, and that concludes our presentation of possibilities. Sure.
But isn't that water?
We'll verify that.
That piece of property, but it's near there.
It is near there, yes, but we'll have to check and see if it's on that parcel. Or near there. Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If, Mr. Chair. I was just going to say, there's a question down here.
Were any of these properties that we had acquired for whatever reason due to taxes?
Yes. The Angling Road property, Commissioner Plating, was due to taxes. Yeah, the Angling Road property, Commissioner Plating.
Okay, how is that coming up with the current laws, and are we subject to,
Only if we sell them.
okay, I understand.
So you making an offer?
No,
Make you a good deal, Rodney.
I can broker that deal.
If there are no other questions, I would,
Well, I realize we did this. We want to explain to the board why we did it. I mean, the idea is that to bring these properties forward, for us to consider what we should start doing with this excess property. The previous vice chair felt we should either be contacting the adjacent property owners and offering it to them, or putting together a booklet like we have here, and putting it out for bid and hiring a realtor for disposal, you know, if that's the pleasure of the board. Now, they're all going to have, obviously going to have stipulations with them. Like he said, easement problems, brownfield problems, all of that kind of stuff. But what's the pleasure of the board? And that's just for you to keep in the back of your mind. I'm not asking anyone to say, hey, let's sell this one, let's keep this one, let's turn this one into a park, this should be a kayak launch. That's not what I'm saying, but think about the different possibilities we have here, and is there a chance for us to begin liquidating some of these properties and get them back on the tax roll, get them functioning as in private hands, and hopefully get them more involved. That's the whole idea behind this. It kind of taken us a year and a half to get to this meeting. So I want everyone to understand that we're just not showing off our inventory of properties. We do want to put together some ideas on moving forward with some of this stuff. So share with the administrator's office, and he'll share with all of us the other thoughts. And thank you, everyone. Health Department update. Deborah?
In the interest of time, I will be brief. The governor rolled out a My Back to Normal plan, which bases the reopening and getting back to normal of Michigan through her My Back to Normal plan. I think we distributed some information on that. If not, I can get that to you if you'd like to see that. We are currently at 50%. Michigan is first dose population, which is what the governor is basing her new plan off of. We continue to see the younger populations, basically the 10 to kind of 30-year-olds into even 30s as being the population that is obtaining this disease or this virus at this point. Numbers today, we had 38 new cases today, so we have seen a decline. The numbers are declining. As of a couple of weeks ago, we were still over 100 cases per day, so we are declining. We are seeing that trend throughout the state. Our positivity rate, according to My Safe Start Map, as of April 30th, is 10.9%. So we are also seeing a decline in the positivity rate pretty quickly, followed by consistent with the numbers that we're seeing. Our total cases that we have accumulated in Jackson County since inception of this virus is 13,976. But again, we are seeing a decline in numbers, so that's a good thing. Any questions? Thank you.
Other items? Public comment. Second time, 2 minutes. Public comment? No public comment. Commissioner comments?